Got no critters this morning, or this afternoon rather. Well, this is the last Sunday before Christmas. So, that's crooked. My hair is so bad today I had to wear a hat. We have had 3 days of rain. Now, the rain was not as bad as what they were saying it was going to be, but we did have 3 days of rain. Now it's colder temperatures. It's just under 40 degrees, I believe. It's flirting with 40. And we had a milestone. This morning, for the first time, I lit a fire in our wood stove. Now, there's a bit of a learning curve. I'm still kind of like feeling the finesse of it, to see how much wood I should put in and how to set the dampers and whatnot. So it's a work in progress. We're getting there. I had toyed with the idea of putting a vent in the floor just above the wood stove, and it got quite warm this morning with the wood stove. I had it, pretty loaded, and I think that would be a good idea. Now, the only other thing is I think that maybe it might be a little bit too close to the wall. I mean, it's okay. I've been monitoring it and checking the temperature of the wall, and I was able to put my hand on it. It wasn't that terribly hot, but excuse me. I know they make short pieces of pipe. I've seen them. I think it was either at Tractor Supply or Lowe's. I'm thinking it was Tractor Supply. And I think if I just got one of those and put that in between the elbow and the pipe that's going out the wall. Now, the pipe going outside the wall, that is an insulated. It's at least a double wall pipe, and it's insulated. And I was checking that, and there's no heat on the outside of that whatsoever. So that's doing good. But it draws good. No problems there. But I'm just trying to learn how much wood I should put in there, and see how long it lasts, and see how the heat moves around the cabin. I was going to order one of those fans for the wood stove from Amazon this morning. They had them on sale at a really good price. However, the delivery date was somewhere between the middle of January and the middle of February. Well, what's the good in that? So I think I saw where they might have one at Lowe's. I have to look. I'll pay a little bit more for it, but if they had them here local, then I'll just buy one local. No sense in fooling around with the mail this time of year. Things are kind of busy. But anyway, so the wood stove is doing its job. It's warm enough. We're not roasting. Now, the guy told me that it'll cook us out of here. Well, if I overload it, yes. I think I loaded it up a little bit heavy this morning, and it was getting quite warm. So with the temperature we have right now, we don't need it that warm. But I do have the electric heater off. So that's going to save us a little bit of money on our electric bill. And so we got about a half quart of firewood on when did he deliver it? Thursday morning he delivered it. And half a quart of firewood for about $60. I don't think that's terribly bad. He delivered it. It was already cut and split. Some of the bigger pieces probably could be split a little bit more, and there's some longer pieces that, because of our wood stove, I think I'd be better off cutting them a little bit smaller, and I can do that. That's not a big deal. I've got a reciprocating saw, and I have a chainsaw. I finally got a new chain for my chainsaw. So we are in business with that. I kept forgetting to take it with me to see if they had one that would fit, and it was, there's a chainsaw place between here and the dump, where we go once a month. We go to the dump once a month. And anyway, so I finally remembered to grab the chainsaw, because it's not a Stihl, it's not a Husqvarna, it's a Lowe's battery powered chainsaw. So I wasn't sure if they would have one that would fit, and they did. So he wasn't sure at first, but we got it on there, and he said, yes, okay, it'll work. So he showed me a gas powered one that supposedly starts on the first pull, and not a hard pull either, just an easy pull. Because I told him that I can't handle the gas powered ones, that it just tears up my elbow. So I mean, even doing that, pulling the string on that auger is not always easy. It all depends, and I get a little sore, but you do what you got to do. But so if I can get it battery powered, I'll do it. I did get a battery powered leaf blower, so I can take advantage of all these leaves around here. And I can get them where I want them to be. But anyway, didn't realize that was coming off. Anyway, so we have the wood stove going, and it's doing good. It feels good. I've got a kettle on top of it, putting a little bit of moisture. It's not that big a kettle. I probably need to get something a little bit better for putting moisture in the air, but it's what I've got for right now. So it's better than nothing. So that's what I'm doing. And we're not using it real heavy right now. The temperature's not going to be that cold. It's, like I said, flirting with 40 today, and I think it's going to be in the 50s the rest of the week. So it's not real bad. But I'm glad I have it. Now I will be ordering more firewood. Excuse me. And I, for $60 for half a cord, it's not bad. And he delivers it. He dumped it right where I wanted it. So, I'm okay with that. It's doable. It's doable. Now I was really working hard at trying to get this my last IBC tote set up, and get the gutter set up to fill it on this front corner. But I couldn't get that done until after the wood stove got moved in. That's in, it's working, and I managed to get that IBC tote set up. I had to cut the gutter so that it was high enough, and I managed to do that with my angle grinder, which does not have a functioning on-off switch. The on-off switch does not work. So when I'm using my angle grinder, one of these days maybe I'll try and take it apart and see if I can figure out why. But I mean, anyway, so I had to hold my angle grinder and plug it in, and then it kicks on. So I got to be really careful how I hold it. Okay, because that thing can really mess you up. Okay, and I was up on a ladder, 2 steps. Wasn't any higher than 2 steps. You know me in heights. So anyway, so I plug it in, and I get and I had it kind of like, where I had it marked where I needed to cut it. And I put a spacer between the wall and the gutter, so that it wasn't right up against the wall, because I needed it out just a little bit so it would hit the right spot on the tote. I don't know what she was all worked up about, but she's doing her job. So So anyway, yeah, so that's all set up and that's filling. I got like that much water in it right now. We didn't get as much water, as much rain as they said that we were going to get. They kept saying, "Oh, we're going to get flash flooding. We're going to have so much rain," and well, we didn't get that much. My rain gauge broke, so I don't know how much we got, but I know that in that tote, I've got maybe about that much. So if I remember correctly, I think an inch of rain takes it to the next rung. So I think we got less than an inch. We had a few heavy showers, for sure, but we just didn't have the volume like they said that we were going to get. So that's okay. That's all right. I got plenty of water. My bottom tote is full. On the two that are stacked, my bottom tote is full, and then the next one up, I believe, is about half full, maybe a little bit better than half full. So that's okay. I need to build like a shed around those totes and to include the pump because we're in winter. I've got to have it set up and ready to go for heat so I can keep that from freezing. I don't dare hook it up and have everything plumbed to the pump and have it running until I get that built. So that is next on the agenda. Getting that shed. I've got the lumber. Okay. And I was kind of fiddling with it, trying to figure out, okay, how am I going to do this? And I think I figured out how I'm going to do it. It's going to be a board and batten. Okay. So, because it'll go a lot faster. Yeah, it'd be nice if I had the time to just use pallet wood and make it look really pretty and fancy. I don't have the time. I got to get it done. So I bought lumber from a sawmill. Okay. And I'll be doing board and batten. Hoping to be able to insulate it with some the Great Stuff spray foam. I need to get some more. I don't know how many cans it'll take. I'm sure it'll take quite a few. But I figure that's probably the easiest thing to do than trying to insulate with something else. Because it won't be affected if it overflows. And since I don't have an overflow rigged up, it's probably going to overflow. I think what I want to see about doing is putting a pipe in that's a little bit below the top lip and have it run out. I don't want to cut the tote again like I did the bottom one. That's it is. It's not sealing. I tried some Flex Seal and it was not sealing. So it's just got this little pinhole of a leak in the where I cut it, and I overdid it with the jigsaw. So I'm trying to figure out how I can seal that up, and obviously Flex Seal is not going to do it because it does say on it. Wish I read it beforehand, but it doesn't work with all plastics. So I got to figure out how to clean that off, and because it's in between the two totes, so I need to figure out how to clean that off. I got a couple other possibilities that might work. I have to see, do some research. I think they make special stuff for working with plastic. So if I can get that to seal, then I can have the totes open to each other. But in the meantime, I'll just keep the top one closed, and when the bottom one gets low, I can just fill it with from the top one. It's just open the valve and let it fill up, and when it gets up to a certain point, shut it off, and we should be good to go. And the way I'll build the building around it, shed, whatever you call it, is I'll make sure that it's above where the height of it is above where the valve is, so that I can get in there easy and turn it on and off. I was hoping to get some green metal roofing to put on top, but there's a place in London that has a sale on $1.75 a foot for metal roofing, but it's their rainbow stuff. That's you can't go through it and pick out the color that you want, and it's all 10 feet long. So, well, 10 feet long is too long, and I'd have to cut it. And it's like, yeah, I could do it, but if I could get it already, shorter pieces, like I said, like it's just, it's not that urgent. I have some of the black roofing material that would do. It won't look as nice, but it'll do. And I can use that for that little shed to protect the pump. Um, so uh, anyway, um, that is what's going on with the water. So hopefully, I don't know how long it'll take me to get the water hooked up. I was hoping to have it done by Christmas. It's not going to happen. Uh, Hopefully, not too long into the new year, it'll happen. And you'll know about it. I'm still having a few little technical hiccups, nothing too serious. It's just a matter of taking the time to deal with it, and figure it all out. It'll come. But anyway, now a couple of the kid goats, they have names. Normally, I do not name the bucklings because they're not staying. They're to be sold. Okay. Um, However, the one little guy, Coco's little guy, I don't know what happened to him. He stuck his nose where it didn't belong. And I thought at first, well, maybe a spider bit him, or he, you know, um, was sniffing a hornet or something, because it was cold. There was really nothing around that stings, but there was a wasp nest in the goat barn at one point. Maybe he was digging around and nosing something. He found a wasp that still had its stinger. I don't know. I think if you touch them, they can still sting. I don't know. So, but a spider could have bit him. So I thought, well, maybe it's just like an allergic reaction. So I didn't think too much of it. I didn't see any obvious injury. So I double checked with the vet, and he said, yes, I can give the children's Benadryl. So I did twice, and there wasn't any significant change. But then there was the next day with his big red nose. So can you guess what I named him? Anyway, it started draining, and it was draining more than one place. So obviously he had an infection. He could have stuck it with a briar. Who knows? He was going around. But, it was just the one day that he was a little bit off. It was looking like he wasn't feeling that good. Okay. But then after I gave him the Benadryl, he started to feel better. He was bouncing around and acting normal. So, like I said, I was in communication with the vet. I took pictures of his nose. And so the vet, kept me abreast of what I should be doing. So he even called me at one point when I showed him the nose was draining. So, I mean, he had some green pus coming out. Really gross. So, but it seems to be doing good now. The swelling seems to be almost gone. So he's doing good. So I'm sure you can figure out what his name is. But unfortunately, he is going to be one that will be banded, because he's got some traits that really I don't want to pass on genetically. So I will be banding him. He will not be for breeding purposes at all. Now, I haven't decided whether I'm going to band Little Mrs. Little Boy yet or not. His issue is that he's small. Thing is, he is a nice color, but he's awfully small. So, I just haven't decided. I've got about a month and a half before I have to make that decision. I band when they're 3 months old. Okay. Mama's Boy will not be banded. I'm going to try and sell him as a breeder because I think he's got He seems really good genetically. He's the biggest of the bunch, even though he's the youngest. Um, and he just was, I mean, he was born ready to go. He was like vibrant and just up and going. Didn't take him long at all once he got out because he was so big. So I'm going to try and sell him as a breeder. Um, Now, Coco's little girl has a name now. Trying to figure out, I brainstormed with my family as to what I should name her. Okay, Coco is brown. Well, her daughter is more of a cream color. Okay, um, so it was suggested vanilla. Well, that's kind of an odd call a goat vanilla. So I figured, well, what about Nellie? And Nellie, seeing it sounds good, but I think, you know what? We'll make it Nilly. Vanilla, Nilly, Nilly. So that is what her name is. Her name is Nilly. Um, and so I think that it just seemed to suit her, that name. So Nilly will be staying. I will be keeping Nilly. I think she's a cutie. Her her form seems good. She's, everything seems good for her, so she will be kept. Still not sure what I'm going to do about Moo Moo. The problem I'm having with Moo Moo is that she's not putting the weight on like I would like her to put on. I'm not sure if she's bred. She may be, but she wouldn't be due until the spring. Whereas the other 3 older does all had their kids early. So I'm not sure what the story is with Moo Moo. Of course, she did have Joy late. She was the last one to get to kid last year. So, or actually this year, it would have been early this year when they were all kidding. So we'll see how she goes. The thing is, Joy seems to be a good, her body structure seems good. So should I keep Moo Moo or should I pass her on, sell her as a pet? She might do better weight-wise if she was not fighting with the rest of the herd. Now, I'm also thinking that the feed trough that I have probably is too small for the number of goats that I have. So I'm looking for other options. I like the feed trough that Kevin on Hidden Heights Farm, he built for his goats, where he can fill it from the back side of it, and it's long and narrow. Of course, his barn is a lot bigger than mine is, and I'm trying to figure out how I could do that and not take space away from the goats. Now, if I built a lean-to out from the doorway, I might be able to do that, but then that's going to use up some roofing metal that I have. And I did have another purpose for it. I was going to use it to build my my goat workstation, where I can put the rotating thing, the rotating head chute, and my scale. I have a scale that I haven't set up yet because it's got to be protected from the weather, and it's just trying to figure out where I'm going to put this, where I can protect it from the weather, but at the same time have it easy so I can work to go, so I can get them in there, weigh them, maybe check their feet, if I can get this rotating thing geared up. I mean, I can hold the goats, but it's easier if I could, let them lay on their side and I can do their feet that way. That way I'm not fighting with them. Okay. And they all have their horns. I don't take the horns off, except for Daisy. I'm trying to get that one horn of hers to come off because it was growing into her head. So I banded that horn, and there is progress. It is starting to detach. It still has a little ways to go, but I think it's at least halfway, if not a little bit more so. So I'm just keep tabs on it, and hopefully it'll work out. Um, Now, the name of this video was Honey is Getting a Christmas Present. I hear goats. I hear a mother calling for her baby. The babies were all there when I looked out there before I came up. So, anyway, so I'll show you the Christmas present that Honey is getting. I don't know what she's going to think of it, but poor Honey is bored. I can see it. Yesterday was hard because I didn't let the goats out. So she had no goats, and of course Chucky doesn't stay in there yet. I still need to work on the fence so I can keep him in there when I want to. Anyway, this is Honey's Christmas present. They are plastic shoes. They can be nailed on or glued on. I'm hoping I got the right size. The farrier said that she would be a number 1 on the metal shoe. I had him check, and the only problem is with this kind of shoe, you can't bend it like you can a metal shoe. So and they didn't have the size gauge that they sell. They didn't have available for sale, so I couldn't buy it to check. So anyway, we went with the 1. It's a 1 wide, so I'm hoping it's wide enough. I haven't checked it with her feet. I'll wait until I get the figure out here and let him sort it out. And if it's not right, then I'll see if I can return these and go next size up maybe. Because I know they can be filed down. But we'll see. Okay, so Honey has been barefoot her whole life. Why? Why am I getting these for her? Because I hope to be able to ride her pretty soon. She's bored to tears. And I know she really enjoys trail riding, just exploration. There'll be other horses, I'd ride her with other horses, and she would probably enjoy that. Just so she could have a change of pace. I think it would do her a world of good. So, anyway, some of the trails that a lot of the people ride on, they're quite rocky. They're not easy. Up in New Jersey, most of the trails were sandy or flat, not very rough at all. There might be a little bit of gravel. There might be a little bit of road riding. And I've ridden Honey on the road, as you know, but not for great lengths of time. Okay, just short runs. Yeah, okay, and she was fine. But everybody kept telling me, I was talking to several people that would trail ride around here, and they said they lost count of how many people brought their horses to this area to ride that were barefoot, and they had always been barefoot, and they were always did great and everything, but then they would have to cut the ride short because the horses would come up lame. So, okay, I don't want to do that to Honey, but at the same time, she's never had shoes. And the thing that I don't like about the metal shoes is that they're restrictive, okay? They don't allow the hoof to flex naturally. Okay. These are plastic shoes. They've got a little bit of flex to them. Not a lot, but a little bit. But they're also protective of the hoof. Okay. So, and there's other options. I got the basic one. But they have other options. They have like a carbide tips that they can put in there, and they also have a mesh that you can get here, so you don't get as much debris. So I debated on getting that one, but I wasn't sure. So I just got the basic. This is the basic. This is a Epona shoe. Okay, so we're going to see how she does with it. And hopefully, if I can get a trailer, then and these shoes work on her and she's okay with them, then we can start doing some riding. That's been my whole up. Not having a trailer, I can't just go. And I don't know the people well enough to expect them to drive their trailer all the way up here to pick me and Honey up. And besides, that takes away their riding time. You know, it would be one thing if they lived next door to me, that'd be different. But nobody around, nearest me rides. My neighbor used to, but he's given it up because it bothered his back. So, well, hopefully, we can get back on the trail. Things are starting to come together here on the homestead that I feel like I can, on occasion, put a saddle on Honey and take her out. Okay. So I think that she would enjoy it. So that's her Christmas present. So we'll see what she thinks of it. They just arrived, by the way. So I guess the catalyst really that it's got me feeling like I can do this is being so close to having the running water. It's like the water's there. I just have to get it from there, just a couple of feet into the house. Okay, so that is the goal. The rain is done. We got cooler temperatures. They're not cold, but they're going to be cooler this week. I'm hoping I can get onto doing some wall boards, get that up, because once I get the wall boards up, then I can start working on the sink area. And once the sink is in, then I can do the plumbing and get the pump hooked up, and I will have running water. That would be so awesome. I'm so close. So anyway, I guess I'm getting a little bit choked up, aren't I? So that is what's going on. And we'll see. Once I get that in and I get the wall board up on the walls, and I'm just doing it as I can afford it. Okay. If it means I get 1 or 2 pieces each month, then I get 1 or 2 pieces each month. It's just, you do what you can with what you got to work with. Unfortunately, I can't use the sawmill lumber for interior because it's wet. It's going to shrink. I can use it for when I'm building outside because the shrinkage won't matter because I'm doing a board and batten. Okay, so the battens will cover up the any cracks that may develop. So that's how I'm doing it. It is encouraging that I can get sawmill lumber at a lower price than what I would pay for dimensional lumber from a box store. So there's going to be things that I may be buying other, more lumber for. We'll see. And just completely not use the big box store unless I have to get like plywood. Plywood is what I will be using. Wallboard basically is what I'll be using for inside the cabin. Except for my ceiling, I still have more ceiling to do. This will be ripped dimensional lumber just so I stay consistent. I can't rip anything wider than this on my table saw. So that's why I'm doing this. I'm just going to stay consistent with the ceiling up here. I'm almost halfway done it. And I haven't been able to continue it because of, weather and just being the not having a separate place where I can set up my table saw and stuff like that. It makes it more difficult to rip the 2x4s or the dimensional lumber. I got 2x8s, I think, because it was cheaper to do it that way than to buy 2x4s and have so much waste. So I figured, you know what? I'll rip a 2x8. I'll have less waste. And it was cheaper than buying 2x4s. So that's what I'm going to do there. I bought 3 2x8s. Two 2x8s will be, because I don't think one is going to be enough. But so I bought 2 so that I can build the shelf that the sink will be sitting on. So, and then I did get some 2x4s so that I can work on the walls, because I got to put nailers up in certain locations so that I can fasten the wallboard up there, and also prevent any mice from getting between the first floor and the second floor, because we've been having an issue with mice. I thought I caught them all, but no, there's at least one more. There's at least one more in here. So we have declared war, and it's just a matter of getting the traps in the right places. I put one trap in one place where I thought it had been, and no, it's avoided that trap. So I got another trap I'll put up here by the cat food. I caught one there before, but he's been, this one last mouse, and I'm hoping and praying it's the last one, has been avoiding the traps I have put out. So now there was one trap, a sticky trap, that my cat got. I thought I had it back where she couldn't reach it, but she got her paw in there, and she was like shaking the paw. She didn't want it. She had the trap stuck on her foot, and it's like, oh, great, now I've got to clean this. The poor thing. She was like, no, she did not like it. So I felt bad, but obviously I got to be really careful where I stick those sticky traps so that she cannot stick her paw where it does not belong. Okay, I know she wants the mouse, but she's been hearing it, and she's been looking, but it has not been where she could get hold of it. So I'll tell you. But once I get, as I go through doing the wall boards, like some of the insulation I have to replace because the mouse completely destroyed it. Okay. So as I'm getting ready to put the wall board up, I'm taking the insulation out just to make sure there's nothing trapped back in there. Okay. Put the insulation in, and I'll put the wall board up. Okay. So, and once I get all this, this cabin will be so much nicer and cozy once we get all the insulation in. And I have a feeling I'm going to buy more insulation though. Well, I don't think I have enough to finish the upstairs anyway. So I'm going to have to buy at least one more bag, possibly 2, since I have to replace some of the insulation from downstairs. But, little by little, I'm getting it done. So, anyway, I'm not having too much conversation today. I'm sure everybody's probably out Christmas shopping because this is the last weekend before Christmas. The one thing I wanted for Christmas, I'm not getting in. That was my running water. But hopefully soon after Christmas, I'll have it. It all depends on how things go, how complicated it gets. And because I'm going to take my time and make sure it's done right. Try to make sure it's done right anyway. So, there was another thing I found a range hood that vents outside. And it's less than $100. So I think I can get it, and I think I can probably do the wiring for it, because I think I can probably put it on the same circuit as the outlet that's right there by the stove. And hey, I know how to do that. So I'm going to take a look and see if it is, and if it is, then that will give me exactly what I need. They'll give me a nice light over the stove, and it'll be a vent, so it'll vent outside. The only drawback is it's going to be venting out onto the porch, but I guess I don't have to worry about rainwater getting in now, do I? So, but anyway, so that's the news I've got. I said I've got these little nitpicky little technical issues I'm still trying to iron out. We're getting there. I did get one video up. I've got a few other videos in my hard drive, and I just got to get things, just get used to the new system. That's all. That's basically what it is. So, and I still have to remember to charge this, because if you leave the battery, even if you don't use it, the battery drains. So I've got to remember to charge it. I always forget to charge it. So what is my problem? I've got outlets upstairs now. So what is my problem? I tell you, I'll get it together eventually, people. I will eventually. So anyway, I hope you all, if I don't see you before then, hope you all have a very Merry Christmas. And remember to continue to pray for those who were so devastated by the tornadoes. If anybody is interested, I know the Department of Ag is, you can go through them to give assistance to any farmers that were devastated by the tornadoes. I heard of one farmer on the news, and I'm sure there's others, who, after he rescued two of his neighbors, dug them out of the rubble of their home, he loaded his whole herd of cattle onto the trailer and took them to market, because his grain silos were destroyed. All his feed was ruined. All his hay was ruined. And all his fences were down. So if you care to help out the farmers, go to the Department of Ag, and they can direct you to the assistance for any farmers. Okay. I looked that up myself. Okay. So anyway, have a Merry Christmas, everybody. We have lots to be thankful this Christmas. We have our loved ones. Or some of us do anyway. So, and we're alive. So remember the season. It's the birth of our Christ. And he sacrificed a whole lot more for us than we could ever do for him. So, Merry Christmas, everybody. Have a good one.